Have a good day.
Nick Kurtz will receive American League first place votes this year. You gonna buy that, George? You want to sell that? I believe we had Caminero, we had Raleigh, we had Aaron Judge,
Bobby Witt. He'll be there as well. I'm a big fan of Kurtz. No, we're not related, by the way, for those who are wondering. Okay, not as far as I know. I keep getting that.
You're a little taller than him.
Right, just a wee bit. Yeah, Nick is a.
Be like this, actually.
I'm not sure Nick would fill in his room. Yeah, that's something like that. But my only problem with him, I think he's gonna have a great year. All right, I think he's gonna have a very good year here. He's gonna be fantastic. I picked 12 in my points league. If he's there at 12, I'm taking him. I'm just grabbing him here. I don't have a second round pick, but I'm taking him anyway. My only issue is this: they're not gonna be very good, right? They may be a little better than expected. Maybe they approach 500, maybe. But it's tough to get MVP votes when you're not winning. All right, you're not in the playoff contention or anything like that. Are you going to be able to beat out an Aaron Judge? I'll buy. I think he's going to have a big season. I think he can get one. I don't think he'll be very, it won't be top 3 right there. But I think he can get one. Yes, I'll buy.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this. I was really I understand what the metric said, and a lot of smart people, George, that I asked told me that Judge probably was the MVP. But man, Cal Raleigh couldn't win MVP with that season that he had last year. And I understand all we're doing is asking questions about first place votes, but don't think there's a lot of love for the voters with Sacramento, no matter what Nick Kurtz does. I'm going to sell this.
Fantasy Sports Today, Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
GameTime decisions on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabe Morency, and it is a night like this where I have to wonder if part of the reason Gabe is here is to really steer this ship, as I will inevitably be caught looking at the Iona Gales in the MAC tournament game playing Sacred Heart in just a couple of moments here.
We pulled the trigger, Kevin. We pulled the trigger on this basketball game. Could not resist. Go Gales. Let's go. Let's get it done.
Fantastic.
Go Gales.
That's what we like to hear.
On Iona, money line. Let's get it done. I don't want to lay the 3.5. It could be close. Something that jumped out to me, Kevin, and you obviously went there, so you follow this program. This total feels a little high to me. Number one, these boardwalk games generally play to the under. I don't know if it's the lighting or not. Same thing with the Barclays Center games, man. Those games always go under. I think it's the A10 that plays there. Just historically, this has been an under venue. And you got to get to generally 150 points tonight in a tournament elimination game. I'm just not feeling it. You need a clean ride to get to 150 points. I'm not buying it. I took Iona money line and I went under. And some people agree with me, Kevin, because it just closed at 148.5 right now.
So I'll add 2 pieces of information on that. One of them is I do think that Dan Gerard took over the program and thought, I need to make this feel like the Tim Kluse days. We're going to run. They're not good at running. The offense is horrible, but they run, so that might inflate the total. But again, they're not good at running. The other one, Gabe, from Coach James Young, who obviously coached at Monmouth. He's coached in this building. I assume you've probably been to a MAC tournament game. Just feels on the board. It's so weird. It's so the depth perception is insane. It just feels very out of your element for these shooters, and you get ugly starts. When guys are bombing threes, it doesn't work early in this tournament.
I don't like blindly throwing out those statements about venues or conferences. Oh yeah, you bet the under, you bet the over. But I swear, Kevin, it's been ingrained, and I've been doing this a long time. It's always oh yeah, they're at the boardwalk. Oh yeah, let's take the under.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you too, the Barclays Center, which is strange. You figure state of the art, right? State of the art arena. The Barclays Center has a unique lighting that other arenas don't use. It's very cool. It's like, it's very dark. You notice in the Barclays, well, actually, no one will really know, Kevin, because no one ever watches a Brooklyn. So people nationally right now, like, I have no idea what the Barclays Center looks like. But anyways, quickly, the Barclays Center have these really cool lights. Like, they have it sort of like it's a throwback. So, like, the court is really bright, but like it's dark. Like it's like the lights are off. It's like that old school boxing type of feel. And it really throws people off. Like it throws kids off, like NBA guys or whatever. They can shoot blindfolded, but kids seem to really struggle. The A-10 always struggles when they play in that building. But yeah, let's pull the trigger with the under here, and let's go with the Gales on the money line. Let's rock.
All right, that game is off and running right now. Early 4-0 lead. I'm not going to give you by-the-minute updates, but we will have an eye on it.
Are we up 4-0?
Yeah, up 4-0.
Right,
Otherwise,
good,
I would ignore that. I would ignore the game.
Good,
Don't worry about it. Look, we have plenty of games that we can get to, Gabe, but I do want to talk about the big story out of the NFL. Your Buffalo Bills make a noteworthy trade for DJ Moore out of Chicago. It was kind of interesting. All these reporters rushed to tell us a trade is done. Nobody knew the details. It ends up a second-round pick. That gave people a little bit of pause here. Where do you land on this trade for Buffalo, bringing in DJ Moore?
Yeah, my initial reaction was sort of more, really, a second-round pick was involved in this. You couldn't get the job done for a third-round pick, even just a fourth-round pick, and forget about that fifth-round type of stuff. But ultimately, as it settles in, listen, Kevin, I'll tell you, I think you or I could be on the depth chart of the Buffalo Bills wide receivers, and Josh Allen's still going to put 30 points a game up on the board. Yeah. Like, has scoring points been a problem? Like, I know, I get it. People don't, you want stars, you want fantasy stars, you want names, at the wide receiver position. But quite frankly, the Buffalo Bills offense wasn't the problem. All right, the defense is the problem. I like to see them go out and get Hendrickson. I like to, I don't care Crosby, but not for the 2 first-rounders that are being talked about right now, obviously, for Crosby. And now, Kevin, as it settles in, I start to think, you know what? Joe Brady was in Carolina before, right? When he came from LSU, he went to Carolina. He was with DJ Moore. Obviously, he must have liked him, like what he sees there. Obviously said to Josh Allen, you know what? This guy can help us. Trust me on this. I've coached him. I know him personally. I'm going to give Joe Brady the benefit of the doubt on that. I'm also going to admit that Brandon Beane, whatever, dude, he could have the 4th overall pick in the draft. He traded to the Chiefs. You know what I mean? How do they get Patrick Mahomes? He's good at late round picks. Like he's he can identify talent, but somehow when it comes to first rounders and even second rounders, he swings and misses. He's often too cool for himself. Nah, I don't like Xavier Worthy. We'll go Coleman and I'll trade. He gets too cocky with himself at times early in the draft. So honestly, Kevin, what's a late second round pick? What's a late second round pick right now if you're the Buffalo Bills, right? I'd like to get an impact linebacker. I'd like to get an impact player on defense. That's what I want. I love the kid out of Texas Tech, actually. I think he might be there late in the first round for them.
Rodriguez.
But, yeah, Rodriguez. So all in all, I don't love it. I don't hate it. Doesn't hurt the Buffalo Bills. Are the Buffalo Bills better now with DJ Moore? Yeah. We could debate the second round pick, but ultimately, let's rock. I think the Bills understand and Bean understands. I dodged the bullet once here. I've got a couple of years to win this Super Bowl right now. And I don't think he's really thinking about how good a player is going to be in 5 years now, Kevin. I think he's thinking now. And I'll throw it at you. If you're the Bills, who would have helped the Bills more? A.J. Brown or DJ Moore?
I think A.J. Brown.
I was thinking about an A.J. Brown, too. Big target type of guy, right?
Yeah. I think A.J. Brown would have been a bigger help, and I think that's where ultimately my issue with it lies. Because I think you're right to point out, look, second-round pick sounds like a lot and then you remember it's the 60th pick. It's not.
Yeah, if you're the Cleveland Browns, Kevin, the second-round pick means something, right?
Exactly. It's really a third.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not that. It's for me. I look at Buffalo as a team that wants to make a splash, and they should. And sometimes, this is how I think Howie Roseman did it when he brought Saquon in. Everybody went, bad deal, too much money. And ultimately, they paid 10 times that for what Saquon brought them. I think Beane should have said, man, this is a lot for A.J. Brown or Brian Thomas, right? Things are weird in Jacksonville. And say, or call Minnesota. Get crazy. How much
Like
do
where you
want
went
for
with that
Justin
with Brian
Jefferson?
Thomas. I like him. I like Brian Thomas.
Like,
I like that.
One of
reference
those
there.
things, Gabe, that would strike fear in opponents. I think the scary thing about DJ Moore is now he's Josh Allen's wide receiver. You know what I mean? Where it's more about, oh, it's another guy for Josh than what the player represents individually. I just wish Buffalo was more aggressive. And I think, Gabe, now they're going to have to do something else. I think they're going to have to continue to add here to make this team feel more threatening.
Exactly. Like you bring in DJ Moore. Is there anything different about Buffalo now? Our defensive coordinator's going, oh, man, this is going to be a problem for us. No, right? What I would like to see, and I can disagree with people, I've seen, there's some Buffalo Bill defenders out there, the fanboys, I don't know, the podcasts, whatever. Some people like to be positive, negative, etc. But I saw a couple of quotes about this isn't a great wide receiver class. I'll disagree, Kevin. I think there's some really good wide receivers here in this class. And, how about this? Zachariah Branch. You put Zach Branch on the Buffalo Bills on the football field at the same time with Cook and these wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And you have Branch set up in the slot in motion and stuff, and you put that speed. I want a game difference maker. DJ Moore is not a difference maker, right? He helps. He's good, right? But it's not that game changer. But to me, Kevin, they need game changers on the defensive side of the football and not a Bosa brother, a real football player.
There's got to be another Bosa somewhere. We'll be right back.
Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number one in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it. Yeah. Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on the island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers record was better, but he's still James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions. We're back here on Thursday night. And yesterday was a really fun day breaking down the NBA card. Gabe had a strong night with the sides, talked about Utah, but talked about Charlotte as well. And Gabe, I just want to set this up, and I want to get your opinion on a Hornets team that is now finally 500, but has been playing well above 500 basketball for a long time. Since January 3rd, they have the second best record in the league at 21-8. They have the best offensive rating in basketball and tied for the third best defensive rating in the league. And I know sometimes people hear these statistics. What's net rating? Really simple. Since January 3rd, those are the top 7 teams in net rating. It's not like, oh, the Pacers are there or the Nets are there or the Magic are there. It just looks to me like the 7 best teams. Maybe Denver's missing because Jokic was out that whole time. But it's also, Gabe, it's not a small gap. Charlotte has truly been the best team in the NBA. It's March 5th for 2 months. This is something here.
That was a statement win last night. That was a back-to-back for the Charlotte Hornets last night, too. We talked about it going into the game, how they're a robust 10-2 against the spread in back-to-backs. It goes to show their resiliency and their toughness. This is, it's a fun team, Kevin. They're getting better on a game-by-game basis. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they're growing. And there's not just what's really dangerous about them is it's not one guy. Right? It's just not one player. They got numerous dudes that are bringing it, man, and like giving you 20. And, people can talk about Knipple and the threes and stuff. We talk about what a stud Miller has been for them. Ball's doing his thing. You throw White into the equation now. They're actually a deeper team than people realize. They actually can play defense as well.
Yeah.
Right? They actually mix in a little defense, and they've been holding teams to less than 100 points at 100-point mode. And I like what Miller said about, he basically said that they're feeding off the crowd now. Basically, it's never been sold out there before, Kevin. Right? He goes, This is the first time I've ever seen it like this here. Wow. It's wow. And he goes, we're really feeling the love in the city. People used to be like, you suck. You know what I mean? Now, when they walk the streets of Charlotte, people are like, go Hornets. You know what I'm saying? People are people are fired up now, and there's an energy around them, right? And they're feeding off it. They can play with anybody. I don't want to overreact. They beat Boston last night. I know because they've given the Raptors a hard time a couple of times this year. Earlier this year. And I was like, man, this is a scrappy team. This is not a fun team to play against. I mean, look at the teams that are ahead of them in the standings right now. They're better than the Miami Heat are. They're better than, the Orlando Magic to me, Kevin. I don't know your thoughts on them. If they're healthy, they're pretty good. Right. I saw them, against Los Angeles and in a Laker game and the West Coast swing and stuff. They can be good, but it's just they're never all healthy, it seems, with Orlando. So it's hard to really buy in. I don't buy into the Sixers. I like my Raptor team, but I think Charlotte are more dangerous than the Raptors are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta consider Charlotte. I mean, I guess the question is, do you consider Charlotte as an Eastern Conference contender if they crash the party and get in?
I at 30-1, you kind of have to, right? I just think we talked about it to be a 6.5-point dog only on the second leg of a back-to-back against Boston. And we get the Tatum news that he's coming back probably tomorrow, so we'll be able to cap that all. But you're still getting a pretty good number, Gabe. It's not 100-1. I get that.
Well, let me ask you, too. They're in the play-in right now, but the way that they're playing, bro, I just talked about the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
The Heat could, just the way the pendulum was, the Heat kind of hit a little bit of a rock bottom, a couple of weeks ago. I think they'll play a little bit better down the stretch. They've won 6 of their last 10. They're on a 2-game win streak. I don't know about catching Orlando. That's the problem. Philadelphia, though, are vulnerable to me, Kevin. And Charlotte are only 2.5 games back. So, imagine if Charlotte crashes the party and gets the 6th spot suddenly.
Right.
And then boom, you got a Charlotte Knicks series, which would make people in New York pretty nervous, because the kids on Charlotte would embrace it and have fun with that.
Well, absolutely. And just to your point, Gabe, right now they have updated win totals. Charlotte's 43.5, Philadelphia 44.5.
That's what I'm saying.
Orlando, by the way, 43.5. Let me see if we have the Miami number, 44.5. So they're bunched up. This Hornets team might end up the 6th seed, right? And all of a sudden now, things feel very, very different. And those prices will feel very, very different on Charlotte. I wanna bring in this game tonight with the Wizards and the Jazz. We can talk about it on the other side of the break as well.
The game of the night, baby.
Yeah. Well, I do think it's one of the bigger games on this slate. I know they're bad, but Trae Young it's interesting that Trae is playing big time total in the 240s.
How about the fact that Trae Young has a game ejection already before he's got a single basket scored? I love it. That's a great way to like become popular in Washington.
It was though.
Like,
great PR for Trae Young.
Get kicked out, exactly. You get kicked out of the game, and now you make your debut. They've set this up nicely. 17 to 20 minutes tonight. We gave you guys Utah plus the points last night against Philadelphia. They were in the game all night long. They nearly won the game outright. George has been on fire the last couple of games, but in typical Utah fashion, he's playing too well, so they decided to sit him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever you are a Utah and you play a team as bad as you, that's when you pull out all the stops, right? Like Keontae George is allowed to play against Denver and the Thunder and the Spurs.
Yeah, because they know he can't beat them on his own. Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're like, whoa.
You know what's funny?
This. Yeah.
Because I was thinking I want to fade George tonight. That was my initial reaction. I was like, you know what? It's gone off for 36 and 39, whatever, in the last two games. All right, this is the time to go fade him tonight on a back-to-back. But they're not playing him tonight. I'm going to go back to my boy Koulibaly tonight. All right?
Okay.
I got greedy. I didn't like it going back-to-back the other night. He's going to be in the mix tonight. And like I said, Trae Young's playing 17 to 20 minutes tonight, so I don't know how you're going to approach him if you're going to play his props tonight.
I'll tell you what I did with Trae Young, and it's a long shot, I understand. I played him for a double-double. It was plus 650.
Ooh.
I know it's going to be tough with the minutes, but I assume he will have the ball every second he is on the court against a Jazz team who play absolutely no defense. If he gets close, Gabe, he'll hunt it. That's the thing to me. If he gets close to it, right? If he's sitting at 11 and 7, he's going to just start passing. We'll talk more about this after the break on SportsGrid.
Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number one in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions back with you guys here on a Thursday night. Let's roll through this NBA card. We were talking Wizards Jazz. Anything else on this
Can I just
game?
bring something up, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to bring up Trae Young. We were talking about Trae Young. Trae Young over under 1.5 made threes. It's minus 160 to the over, but you got to believe he's going to take. Like, he's playing 17 to 20 minutes, they said.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what, 4 or 5 3-point shot attempts at least. I don't think he'll be super greedy. I'm curious with his assists, actually, Kevin. You're talking double-double with him, right?
Yep.
His first game, like I said, and what's his reputation? That he's kind of that he's a solo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's an individualist. Like, you know what I mean? So your first game, your first minutes, are you really just going to heave up 20 shots in 20 minutes? No. I think you'll be like, nah, I'm going to hook up Kubal Ali with a dunk here. Like, a little alley-oop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want the guys on the team to like you before before the honeymoon wears off. It's your first game. So I'm looking here. Man, they're on top of it. 6.5 assists, Kevin. Wow.
Yeah, it's no joke. That's why, Gabe, I just kind of took it up the level, right? Again, it's a 6-1, right, with a double-double. But if he gets close, here's an interesting thing, Gabe. The head coach for the Wizards, Brian Keefe, said that he's going to play most of those 17 to 20 minutes in the first half with a small stint in the third quarter. I like that for the props. Because what that tells me is...
and once he comes back, he's going to go, yo, I'm good. Just leave me out here.
That's what I'm saying, right? If we get 14 minutes in the first half, Trey might be like, listen, I can play 22. Like, I'm cooking right now. Enough of this nonsense. Let's win this basketball game. Like, I'm good with that there. What else do you like in the NBA tonight?
Well, looking at the association, you brought him up the other night, actually, so I'm going to sort of jump on the bandwagon here with Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd tonight catches my eye, Kevin. 13.5 points. He's been taking more shots as of late. He's obviously starting now as well. So Reed Shepherd catches my eye as far as player props are concerned. The Toronto Raptor and the T-Wolf game is intriguing to me. There's been a lot of talk and sort of hemming and hawing all day about Anthony Edwards, right? Is he going to be in? Is he going to be out? Number went down to 4.5. I see it's back up to 6 right now. They played a really close game earlier this year and talked about the Raptors struggling against the Knicks, and they lost to the Pistons. They've done well against like Western Conference powers. It's been the Eastern Conference teams that they've struggled with. I mean, hell, they went into Oklahoma City and beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Raptors, on the road. I think the Raptors going on the road, there's something about the Raptors at home. They lose their edge. They do. They just lose their edge. The fans are too nice. Like, there's not enough, like, booing where, like, when they lose and stuff. Raptor fans are very supportive, Kevin. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like, all right, good job, try again. Like, it's, it's not enough, vitriol. It seems like they play more aggressive on the road, the Raptors do. I think that 6 is attractive tonight.
They're 10-5 against the spread as a road dog, the Raptors. That's impressive.
Exactly. They play with an edge
game sample size. Yeah. Wow. That's an impressive number. That kind of sneaks up on you a little bit.
And Minnesota are not a good home favorite either when laying points. Okay. If you want to compound this. So I think we have a close one there. And obviously we've got to bring up the San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons. Going head-to-head.
I think that 228.5 is a little light. These teams played about 2 weeks ago. Total's around 232.5. I know it went under. I think they've moved it a little too much here. I like this spot. I like the Pistons off of a loss to bring it. They got embarrassed a little bit, I thought, in that game against San Antonio. Cade Cunningham was starting to get, MVP chatter, all this different stuff. He was 5 for 26 in that game. Them. He was awful. He was awful. And Wembanyama, he pulled it together, but they were trying to bully him. I think he's going to be up for this game. He's coming off only scoring 10 up against the Philadelphia 76ers. I know they won that game by 40. I like over tonight here, Gabe, 228.5.
That's a great point. You know what? I was kind of, something you just brought up there. I was thinking about this game a lot, and all right, they're going to beat him again. But you know what? We saw San Antonio go through this with Oklahoma City around Christmas time in the NBA Cup game. So it's like, all right, we beat you in the NBA Cup. It's like, all right, well, we'll see you next week on Christmas Day and see. All right, we beat you again. And I think San Antonio almost takes pride in this. And on top of it, you just said it, they cheap shotted Wembanyama, right? They were pushing him. They went bad boy style on him. And it didn't work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work with him. Oklahoma City have tried it, and it just sort of it just angers him and the rest of the Spurs. I like the Spurs tonight.
All right, we'll go through the Lakers-Nuggets game, get some college in here as well.
Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number one in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it. Yeah. Don't you think so?
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still at James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions back with you guys here on a Thursday night. We've talked through some of the NBA. Nuggets-Lakers is kind of a big one late night there. I did play Luka for a triple-double. I also took a shot with the Luka Jokic triple-double parlay, which is around 8-9 to 1. We've also got Gabe's Michigan Wolverines in action tonight, who, if they're playing a team that's considered good in the Big Ten, it's on the road. Automatically. 9.5, though, Gabe. I know Iowa isn't Purdue, Illinois, Michigan State here, but it's a big number tonight. Doesn't mean Michigan can't cover it. What'd you think about this one?
It is starting to climb, as you stated. It's up to 9 right now. In all honesty, Michigan do not have anything to play for right now. They've already won the Big Ten, right? I mean, that's how good they are. They've already clinched the Big Ten. They've won it. It is what it is. They wrap up with Michigan State at home over the weekend. So that's sort of the another rivalry game. They already beat Sparty on the road. But one thing, you're always playing for seeds. I don't like the fact that they lost Kason last week, and that's a devastating blow to Michigan. Fortunately, Michigan are super deep and they can absorb this, but I'm not a fan of this. So I'm sort of always holding my breath that somebody else doesn't get hurt right before the NCAA tournament. But with that being stated, the Michigan Wolverines guys, if they win tonight, will be the first team since the undefeated and best college basketball team of all time, some would say, the Indiana Hoosiers. 1976, Kevin. No one in the Big Ten has gone undefeated on the road since the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers. Michigan can accomplish that tonight. They're aware of it. It's being talked about a lot. And, Iowa are a one-man band. You know what I mean? They got one kid that drops 20 a game. Michigan are going to crush him. Michigan games are really tricky. The odds makers, they're overinflated Michigan all the time. And it's hard to bet their totals because Michigan are good on defense and they hold other teams often to like 58 points and stuff, even good teams. Yeah. I kind of get the feeling we're going to have some points tonight, though, Kevin. And I got to tell you, man, Michigan's team total is down to 76.5 right now. It's rare. I follow Michigan every game closely, Kevin. Dude, their point totals are usually 89.5, 93.5, 87.5, 88.5. Like, I get it. The total's 145 right now. It was 145.5 earlier in the day. It's starting to climb up here, but I like the Michigan team total tonight. It's sort of like 3-card money, man, on the street, bro, outside of MSG. You got to, like, with Michigan games. It's like, man, do I lay the points? Do I take the team total? Like, you're like, what am I going to do here? I think Michigan do win by double digits tonight, but the way I'm going to attack it, Michigan team total over 76.5 for me.
I like the look. I think you got a good number. Here's the thing. I think you're on it. The total's up to 147.5 now in spots. It's one of these games, though, where you look at it, it's not quite NC State Duke where I had less than 0 conviction, right? But there's a part of me that's like, 9.5, lot of points, take the points. I'm 7 minutes in, and I don't watch the remaining 33 minutes of the game because it's just a hammer job. Like, I just left the game alone, Gabe. I left the game alone.
You know what's scary about Michigan, too, if you bet against them, if you take the points? You could be hanging around, and you could be up by 6 even in the second half, and Michigan do go on those just sort of like knock you the F out runs. They did it to Illinois. It was a close game. They were going back and forth. Next thing you knew, Illinois were down by 18. Right? Right. Northwestern a couple of weeks ago, Kevin. It was wild. Michigan were laying like 14 on the road. They were down by 12 with 8 minutes left. And it looked like, all right, you finally got them on a bad night. You finally got them. No, Michigan ended up winning by 12. They nearly covered. Like, they just flicked it. Like, they went on like a 30-6 run. It was like, all right, good for you. Thanks for coming. So Michigan are always capable of that, but they're going to be fired up tonight, man. Like, the crowd's going to be all lit up tonight for this game. It's a much bigger game for Iowa than it is Michigan. So that's why I'm going to attack the team total instead of laying the 9 points. So team total for me and the over for me.
Okay, yeah, I like the looks. I do. I will say, I think, though, I assume Dusty May will tell his guys that we can make some history tonight. And that, to me, is incentive enough here. Like, Michigan will be ready kind of they will feed off this crowd if it starts to go left. It feels like one of those games that'll be a lot of fun to jump in live.
What about the Big Ten tourney? Do you think, like, it doesn't matter if they win or not, but it's almost like, wow, if we're playing in it, we might as well win it.
I'm trying to what do you think the number will be on them to win it? Like, minus 130? Because it's people respect the rest of the conference, right? But
who would beat them on a neutral court? Like, if we really break it down.
No one can beat them at home. These teams are all
Michigan,
hosting Michigan, and they cannot beat them. Like, I've been talking to people.
This isn't a great Purdue team. We saw last night, we talked about Purdue escaped last night, right?
Stink.
It's not a great Purdue team. Illinois, I would say, all right, Illinois, a rematch. If you ask me right now what the Big Ten final will be, and not knowing the bracket, obviously, but
right,
I'll say Illinois and Michigan play in the championship game. That'll be the rematch, in my opinion.
I would almost wonder if Michigan State just rivalry, slow team, fears kind of, could he catch it a little bit? But to some degree also,
especially if they get swept in the regular season too, right? Especially if they get swept, if they lose again. It's a good point because normally, Kevin, I'm sure you feel the same way, guys. For people tuning in, just for the record, if you're sort of newer to this, normally you don't want to take the best teams in conference tournaments. Mm-hmm. Like, don't just look at a conference tournament and go, oh, they were the best team, so they're going to win. A lot of coaches, guys, don't want to win their conference tournament. They don't care. Like, they'd rather lose, and they could yell at their kids on the team, and they can practice hard and get ready for the NCAA tournament. Put it this way, guys, you win the Big Ten tournament, you're playing that last game, Kevin, on Sunday evening. Seriously. You're still in uniform sweating when they announce the bracket. So,
right.
How advantageous is that? Oh, yeah, we won the Big Ten. Congratulations. Bad news is, we're playing Thursday in Denver. It's like, no, we're not going back home. We're just going to get on a plane. Like, one of these, Michigan will be in Denver. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kevin, it's counterproductive for some teams. Some teams, and it burns other teams out. How many times, the classic UConn wins in 5 overtimes, like at a Big East and stuff. Yeah, they always get bounced. Like, it drains teams, some of these tournaments, man. So I'm more of a regular season guy. Like, you know what I mean? All right, you win your conference tournament. Good for you. Got lucky. Whatever. Who cares? To me, you hang the banner, regular season tournament, regular season conference champion. That means something to me. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I don't even want to win. I don't even care about the Big Ten tournament. But if we're going to be in it, we might as well win it. And I was thinking Michigan will probably win it.
The only thing is, when you look, if Michigan wins it, it's not a bad thing. If they get knocked off, if they get clipped, I also don't think that's a bad thing. At no point will I think that's an indictment of them. Michigan is in a conference that is still talented, but we all know they've secured their spot as a 1 seed. Like, if Duke loses the ACC, it's a bad look. There's no excuse for them not winning the ACC, right? If Arizona doesn't win the Big 12, that's fine. Houston is really, really good. Maybe Iowa State wakes up. Bill Self and Kansas usually get in the mix.
Yeah.
But so for Michigan, I didn't know this until you said it. To me, if you were to say, hey, what's more impressive, unbeaten on the road in the Big Ten or winning the Big Ten conference tournament, I would say the unbeaten one. Like, I might be sold that these next 2 games matter more than the rest of the conference tournament for this Michigan team, Gabe.
Yeah, you know what? I've never been the tournaments are great for the teams that are trying to crash the party. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, okay, I have numbers here, Kevin. All right, I've dug them up. Let's see. Here we go. And of course, they don't have the Big Ten. I got the Big Sky. I got T's, Kevin. I got the Big Sky tournament, the Big South. So I'm like, big. I'm like, Big Ten. There's no Big Ten.
They're not ready. They're not ready yet.
I can tell you, Gonzaga are minus 210 to win the West Coast tournament.
Sure are. We'll be right back on Sports.
Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number 1 in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it. Yeah. Don't you think so?
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still at James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Game Time Decisions. We are back with you guys right here on a Thursday night. Iona trailing. Under is in a good spot, but they're about to be down maybe 8 points here at the break. This, again, they can't score. They run for no reason. I like the new coach, but it's gonna take a little bit of time to figure it out. What about the NHL here tonight, Gabe? There's a couple of interesting spots. They get the primetime booking with Pittsburgh, Buffalo, late night, the Kings, and the Isles here. What about this Sabres team? Everybody's favorite red-hot Buffalo Sabres.
I tell you what, we talked about them the other night, and I said, 24-5-2, make it 25-4-2 right now. Think about that, 25-4-2 in their last 32 hockey games. The Buffalo Sabres are, listen, Pittsburgh have overachieved. They've been a surprise that they're hanging on to this playoff spot, and then they lose Sidney Crosby in the Olympics. And you figure, okay, now really reality's got to catch up to you a little bit. They're coming off a loss to the they're coming off a low scoring. I like the under the other night. So I think tonight, man, Buffalo, you just can't get in front of Buffalo. And since they're the Buffalo Sabres, Kevin, the NBA and the NFL numbers will adjust, right? NHL, the odds makers, they're slow to adjust their power rankings with teams. And the public is slow to buy in as well. So it's like, wow, the Buffalo Sabres, okay, yeah, they're hot, but I don't think people really realize like how hot they are. Very similar to the Charlotte Hornets, right? Very similar. Yeah. I think Buffalo are even a little hotter. It's not like, they're a bad team, they're on a hot streak now. It's like, no, they're one of the best teams now. Right? Like they are playing like one of the best teams, and it's been this way for a couple of months. And that's the Buffalo Sabres, Kevin. They were smoking hot going into the Olympic break, and to do it coming out of the break, to take 3 weeks off and to not miss a beat, unbelievable stuff. It's basically a pick 'em tonight. I like the Buffalo Sabres in Pittsburgh this evening, and the Florida Panthers, hell of a run. They made it to 3 straight consecutive Stanley Cup finals. They don't do load management in hockey. So imagine playing 3 regular seasons, 3 postseasons, bunch of Game 7, Stanley Cup finals, 3 years in a row, throw in the 4 nations in the Olympics. The Panther players are done. They're burnt. Like they're just spent. Like they're out of gas. They're slow. They're injured. And it's the end of the line, bro. They're literally like 10 points out of a playoff spot, Kevin. Like there's no fairy tale ending this year for them. The trade deadline is tomorrow. I don't think they're going to blow it up. I think they're going to say, you know what, our best players were hurt this year. We owe it to the room to give them one real last run at this thing. This wasn't a real defense, and it really wasn't. Barkov is their best player. He wasn't there. Kachuk's been hurt all year, right? It's been a disaster for Florida. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, Kevin, this is that fire the coach thing. The Blue Jackets fired their coach. They brought in Rick Bowness, who's like, dude, the guy's been in the NHL since 1972, man. Like, he retired from his last coaching job due to health issues. He looked like he was going to, like, die behind the bench, like a heart attack. Like, one of those dudes, like, over-stressed worker, Kevin, that comes, the tie. Where's the drink as soon as he gets home? Like, he was just like, freaked out. I've been a coach for 50 years in the NHL. Like, he had the bags under his eyes. And, like the doctors, he was the coach of the Jets. And the doctors told him, you've got to step down. Like, you're 70 years old now, and like you've been doing this like forever. You've got to step down. The Columbus Blue Jackets out of nowhere hired him when they fired their coach. They're 12-2 with him. They're 12-2. Dude, similar situation. You have a terrible Florida team right now that are barely trying and have given up on the year, and a red-hot Columbus team, and the game is a pick 'em because they're the Columbus Blue Jackets. Give me the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight.
All right, I will add something to the Buffalo game and then just a question about the Rangers game quickly. The one thing I would just kind of clicking through here with the Sabres. Now, listen, they win all these games, but I think this is only like the second time they've been a road favorite, and it's slight. It's slight.
Oh, it's a slight favorite.
Time. Yeah. But I'm saying I think it's only like the second time, Gabe, during this whole thing, right? Like, and it's taken all of this to get them just to this kind of spot here of a -115. And I think in some books it's probably like -110. Like, they still haven't shifted a lot of this stuff on Buffalo. I saw there were updates around the Rangers. There's resting guys. They're supposed to be selling. But they are booked as favorites. I guess Toronto's just that much of a mess here. How do you treat teams like this who are kind of, they don't know who's gone yet, but they know a bunch of them will be gone soon?
Kevin, this is, you're a big wrestling fan. Who are like 2 big stars that were thought to be maybe the main event of like WrestleMania, but instead they've been told, you're pulling the curtain, bro, on the card. You're like what? You're on the Saturday and you're the first. Like, we're burying you.
I can name names, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Leafs and the Rangers were like, Rangers had heavy hype coming into the year. I kind of knew the Rangers were overrated. The Leafs every year have they're one of the favorites and all that. They're both terrible. Like, it's just been an absolute nightmare disaster. Like, this is just a ticking time bomb game. You have to be a masochist, like, to want to bet this game. The Leafs still haven't won, Kevin, since the Olympic break. So now it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's getting real now. Like, they can't win. Like, the Leafs can't win. The Rangers can't score at home. This is just like the loser bowl. Like, it really is just the loser bowl, this game. If anything, and I hate to be persistent, I've only done it once, so I've only lost once on it, but Austin Matthews has to score one of these games. He has to, right? He hasn't scored since they've come back from the Olympics. You're getting plus 140, not a terrible number. I did it last night, and he didn't do it. So it's like betting a home run prop in game one of the series. If you did it in game one, you better go back in game two.
Yeah.
I almost don't have a choice now. I'm boxed in, Kevin. I got to take Austin Matthews to score a goal tonight.
At some point, he will find. Maybe add the little first goal score. Do you ever bet the first goal score, Gabe, or is that a little much?
No, you know what I do? I do in the playoffs. But every night I don't want to get into it. It's like if I started betting horse racing. I already have enough, I bet enough as it is. I don't need like first basket of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't it's like a little much.
Yeah.
Although I did hit Travis Bazzana WBC home run prop last night, plus 600, baby. Cleveland Guardians got themselves a good one.
We'll do WBC picks on the way out after the break on SportsGrid.
Michigan at a 57% chance right now, followed by Arizona, Duke, and Houston. Here's the interesting caveat, Joe, for Michigan, who's the favorite right now. On February the 8th at 5 a.m., they were trading at 40%. Today, 57%. People like themselves some Michigan here.
Well, Donnie, exactly, because Michigan, it just vaulted themselves to number one in the AP poll.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
How much do you think tanking is hurting the NBA right now, too? And what we're seeing, like we saw with that Jazz and Orlando game a week ago, how much do you think that's hurting the game?
I can't wait until professional sports in the United States adopts a European model, especially like a Premier League model, and they start doing relegation. The day you start doing relegation, everything changes. Everything will change.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
I have my own account. I don't need to have any. He didn't say any of that. So I'm of the belief that if someone accuses you of something and you don't deny it, there's a reason you didn't deny it. Because you kind of feel like they got me. And yes, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but I did it. Yeah. Don't you think so?
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, and with the Clippers, Craig, it feels like Kawhi is on an island. We saw him ball out in the All-Star game the other day. Kawhi was very impressive, and he's had a fantastic season. I think when you look at the Clippers, if the Clippers' record was better, but he's still a James Harden, you would be talking about Kawhi as an MVP candidate. He's been one of the best players in the league in terms of how he's been playing. He's been fantastic.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, game time decisions. Back with you guys here on a Thursday night. We'll flip through any picks we haven't got just yet. But at 5 a.m. local, so East Coast, I assume you'll just stay up for this game. Japan is going to play in the World Baseball Classic, right? This kind of plays into your hands, I assume. A little 2 a.m. first pitch. Maybe watch first 4 innings or so here. There's a game tonight as well, if I'm not. Chechia is playing 2 games in one day. Looks very weird. I know it's 2 days in Japan, but what do you like here, Gabe?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is an old school, Kevin. I think Mr. Walsh, Senior Walsh, will know what I'm talking about here. Usually at 2 a.m., I'm watching a TV show, Mannix. It's a detective show from the early 70s. I watch MeTV in the late night hours. So normally I'm up like watching Alfred Hitchcock and Mannix and Cannon at that time, Kevin. But now even better, I got baseball at 2 a.m. on the West Coast. So yeah, tomorrow, guys, 5 in the morning East Coast time, Japan and Chinese Taipei, 7 baseball games tomorrow, all the way through. So all day long, there's going to be a game on. Just boom, different parts of the world starting, bam, boom, boom, bing. And then, so starting at 5 a.m. and then 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we have USA and Brazil. And I really look forward to seeing the full run line here for the USA and the Brazil game. FanDuel posted, Kevin, USA minus 4.5 runs, and my eyes lit up. I was like, minus 4.5 runs? It's going to be like 6-0 after the first inning. And no, it's minus 550.
Oh,
yeah. So that's FanDuel. So like, you know, I mean, I think the USA will be like minus 9.5 or so. All right. So I see the total for USA and Brazil is 14.5 tomorrow. I'm thinking the USA is going to win like 16-0 or something.
really?
Like, there's no mercy rule. Like, I think they're going to like murder them for real. But yeah, as far as the baseball, we talked about Travis Bazzana, guys. First round pick, first overall top pick in the Major League Baseball draft 2 years ago. Australian kid, plays for the Cleveland Guardian organization. Hit a home run last night. We cashed it plus 600. The Czechs are good at hockey. They're not very good at baseball, guys. Like this is bad. Like, they didn't get out of the first inning. I don't want to lay the 4.5 though in this game, but let's go with Travis Bazzana. Hit another home run at plus 250. Travis Bazzana over 1.5 total bases, Kevin. But give me Japan, bro. You got Yamamoto on the hill. Chinese Taipei just got shut out by Alex Wells in Australia, a dude that hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball in 4 years. All right, what the hell do you think Yamamoto's going to do to them? So they're not going to hit him. But for the record, Yamamoto's only pitching 3 innings. So his strikeout prop is 5.5. Just for the record, if you're going to be betting it, he's only pitching 3 innings. So my pick, though, Kevin, I'll keep it simple here. I'll lay the 4.5 runs with Japan. Yeah. Japan's going to win like 8-1 or something like that.
Interesting. All right, I got to see. I'm curious what like some of these USA numbers are going to be now. Like right now, you're right. I'm just seeing it here on FanDuel. Like they're not hanging this run line, which is kind of crazy. They were telling me on Fanatics, Judge is like plus 145 for a home run tomorrow, Gabe. So we'll get into that plenty
and
tomorrow.
And it's in Houston.
Yeah.
So like that's a launching pad.
Yeah.
That's a launching pad, that stadium.
Maybe we can get
so,
that too.
Yeah, tomorrow we got a full slate. So yeah, tonight, guys, put Australia in money line parlays. Laying 4.5 runs a little bit steep. I put them in a money line parlay. Play some props. I'll post them later, but I'll give you the floor, Kevin. My best picks tonight. I'm going to go with Michigan over 76.5 team points scored. Reed Shepherd over 13.5 points. Blue Jackets to win, and Team Japan minus 4.5.
Yeah, I like it. I played a couple of these off-card college games that we've been hitting. Valpo in the Missouri Valley, Bucknell. I took the 15.5. I think it's a little bit high. I know Navy's the best team in the Patriot League, but I think you're kind of paying a tax because everybody knows Navy's the best team in the Patriot League. St. Thomas, though, 5.5. I don't think that's too many points there. The Jackrabbits cannot guard that team. They should be able to score enough to run and hide on that 5.5. In the NBA, we're going to take a shot. Trae Young, double-double. Luka Doncic for a triple-double. One of these come in. We're more than happy with that. I really like this over. Pistons, Spurs, 228.5. And then the Nuggets team total. I didn't talk about this, Gabe. Under 122.5. Since Jokic has come back, they have gone under that number in 10 of 14 games, and 2 of the overs have needed overtime. That is a big number that they are not hitting just because Jokic is in the lineup.
Bailout special on the way out, Hawaii. Let's lay the points tonight. UC Riverside are eliminated. They're not even playing in their conference tournament. They're going to Hawaii to have some fun tonight. Bows roll.
All right, some crew goal scorers on the way out as well. Fantastic, Gabe.